Good morning everybody, it's James at 5 Cycles here. It's a chilly autumn day here in Scotland, but we just got our hands on a pretty special bike, so I thought we'd make a little video for you to see. To the eagle-eyed out there, that is the new Trek Rail 9.9 AXS. Oh my gosh, what a bike. So before I go into any details, let's just have a quick look from here. Go from the front to the back of the bike. Absolutely stunning piece of kit. Yeah, a lot to be said about this. This is a completely new model from Trek for 2020. It is called the Rail. It's based on the Trek Slash, which is a very capable enduro bike from the Trek lineup. But of course, the main difference is this is an EMTB with a new 2020 Bosch Performance Line CX motor, which has been much highly anticipated motor for a lot of good reasons. But yeah, let's have a look. Before we talk about the motor, we've got a Lyric Ultimate on the front, 29-inch wheels, 160mm travel on the front with 150mm rear RockShox reactive through shaft debonair shock. This bike is totally blinged out. We've got the RockShox reverb axis, electric dropper, again axis, 12-speed SRAM on the back, and an E13 carbon crank on the front. It's running XT brakes, as you can see here, the brand new 2020 XT brakes, and it's also running this really cool Bosch kiosk system. Just run through the modes there for you just to have a look. Yeah, all very exciting. There's the dropper, and there is the Eagle X01 shifter axis. So let's again, before we talk about the motor, let's go into a bit more detail about the frame. It is full carbon, and what I really like is that they've gone for carbon rear end as well, so the chain stays, everything completely carbon. And with Trek, you've got that excellent carbon care warranty. So this is a tough bike. Feels amazing to ride. Oh, I didn't mention you've also got the carbon wheels on there as well. The Bontrager line carbon 30s. Really light wheel and very strong as well. So there's a lot of buzz about this bike, and a lot of that buzz comes down to what everybody's been waiting for, this new Bosch Performance Line CX motor. Now I'm just going to go into a little bit of detail about why this motor is a pretty big deal. The last Performance Line CX motor, which has been about, I think, since about 2013-14, it was a good motor, but it had its drawbacks, and Bosch have really come right to the forefront with the technology in this new motor. It's more powerful, 75 newton meters, I believe, of torque. This is running the 625 battery. Yeah, that is a battery, by the way. This is the Trek rib system. I don't have the key, so I can't take it out to let you see. But basically, a key in from this side, and it pulls the battery out. It can be charged on or off the bike. But yeah, this new Performance Line CX motor, very exciting. One major change you'll see, it's now running a big 34 tooth ring, whilst the old Performance Line motor had a very small ring, which is wearing out really quickly. So that's a nice new feature. The motor is, I think, almost 2 kilograms lighter than the previous edition as well, so it's saving a huge amount of weight, which is important for an e-mountain bike. A big thing for me, probably the most significant difference, is the drive unit. The axle is now situated, really far back in the motor, whilst before it was situated closer to the middle. Now this has multiple benefits for the bike. Probably the biggest benefit for me is that you can now run a much shorter chain, which in turn means you've got a shorter chainstay, which brings the back wheel closer to the axle, brings everything closer in, to make the bike feel much more playful, much more active going down, and responsive as well. It was my criticism of the old motor, and any bike running that old motor, it was having to have such long chain stays. Now, lots of companies spun the fact that having a long wheelbase on an e-bike is good because you get a bit more traction. I think that was just a bit of spin, to be honest, to to sell the bikes, but this short chainstay, it feels like a normal mountain bike. It feels just the same as a Slash. So that's a huge improvement for me. Look at that. Yeah. So another thing, you've got what we call a Q factor. Has been dramatically improved. Now the Q factor is the distance between the left and the right pedal, how wide it is. Now on the old Performance Line motor, the Q factor was really wide, which kind of gave an unnatural pedaling stance. So when you're on the pedal, your legs were quite wide apart, and it made it feel quite strange. But this is much more in keeping with a traditional kind of mountain bike Q factor, so it feels again much more like a normal mountain bike. So yeah, a lot of really exciting things that have come out from this new motor. It rides really great too, but we'll go into more detail about that in another video. This bike, I can't remember the retail price off the top of my head, which is terrible. I think it's about £9,500. So it's a really expensive piece of kit. I was lucky enough to ride the new rail in Italy at the pre-release of the 2020 bikes, and honestly, I'm a convert to the e-mountain bike. I was absolutely amazed at the performance of this bike. I couldn't believe how well it rode downhill, how natural it felt. But for me, the deal breaker was the fact that I actually found myself racing up hills against some other guys as well as down. So it kind of brought an extra aspect to riding your bike. Really exciting. I've got one on order. This is a customer's bike. I can't afford this. So let's just go back to front again. Excuse me as well, I've got a little bit of a cold just now. But yeah, feel free to ask any questions on the comment section below, and we'll try and answer them as quickly as possible. If I've missed anything out, let me know. We're going to upload some photos, and we've got some stock of these bikes already, so just get in contact if you're interested. Cheers, bye.